Okay, so I got a phone call and that completely stops my thing, so I have to kind of pick up for a minute. So I was just looking for the order, so it asked for what quadrant it was in, so it's quadrant 1, 2, 3, that's where it lies. And then because all seniors turn crazy, T stands for tangent, so only tangent is positive in quadrant 3. So I know my answer is going to be negative here. And then the next thing it says, okay, so what's it ask for? What's your reference angle? So your reference angle is pi over 6, or I don't care if you put, 30 degrees. And then the next thing it asks for is what is the coordinate for that. So pi over 6 and cosine, we said it was square root of 3 over 2, and don't forget it's negative. Now, here's a little trick I'm going to tell you. I even don't like to work in radians sometimes. So if you remember how to change it from radians to degrees, absolutely change it to degrees. I don't care. But when you take trig next year or pre-calc, they may always want your answer in radians. So you decide what you're going to practice. But I am okay with you changing it from radians to degrees, but then change it back, because you have both here. So if we look at the next one, I made up some examples. So on this one, the next two are going to be easy because they're in degrees. And I just think degrees is much more comfortable, but you got to get used to both. Especially my honors kids, you really need to learn to do it in radians. So 225 degrees. So I know 225 degrees is between 180 and 270. So I know it's going to, terminal side is going to end right here. So when you sketch your angle, by the way, you should always put an arrow showing which direction it goes. So I'm looking for the distance from here to the x-axis. So you would take 225 minus 180. That's how you get it, 225 minus 180. So my reference angle is 45 degrees. That's your reference angle. So there you go. So when I go here and I go, ooh, cosine of 45 degrees, ooh, those are the easy ordered pairs right there. Radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. Those are my favorite ones. And then look what tangent is. You just divide, it's 1. That's my favorite ones. I never forget those. Okay, so then here we go. What quadrant is it in? It's in quadrant 3 again. Okay, and then because all seniors turn crazy, only tangent is positive here, so I know it's going to be negative. What's your reference angle? 45 degrees. And then what's my coordinate is going to be radical 2 over 2. And don't forget to make it negative. And that's how you do this. So let's do 2 more. And let's see if I can kind of see what I can do here and still keep my chart. Okay, let me get my little puppy magnet here to help. Nope, not going to work. All right, let's see. See if this is going to help any. Is it strong enough? See my bracelet for ocean. See, that's what you guys are supposed to be doing today. Okay, so we get a negative sine of 510. So all the way around the circle I know is 360. So I know I'm going to go negative. So I'm going to go clockwise to here. And then, so that's a 360. And then how much do I have left over? So what is that? 150. So that would be a negative 150 more. So remember, this is 180, so it's going to be somewhere over here. Right there. And then, so if I do that one, then, so what's my reference angle then? So the closest to the x-axis. So if that's 150, that's 180. So I got 30 degrees. That's my reference angle right there. 30 degrees right there. So to do this one, this is in quadrant 3 again. Lucky number 3, huh? And then this is sine. So sine is negative. And then what's the thing it asks for again? Lord have mercy. I'm starving. Okay, the reference angle, 30 degrees. And then, so what's the sine of 30 degrees? So I go up here. The sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. And don't forget to make it negative. I love this. I love the chart. To me, it's easier than making this whole circle. Who wants to make that whole circle? This is so much easier. Okay, so then the very last one. So here, again, you can change it to degrees to work this problem by multiplying it by 180 over pi, and then work the problem. But I'm going to do it in radians because you need to know that too. So if I do it in radians, now there are teachers who leave it in thirds. I like working in 6. There's too much information, is like overload. So I'm going to change this to 6 by multiplying the top and bottom by 2. So I get negative 10 6 pi, and I'm going clockwise. Remember, this would be 6 pi if I'm going clockwise, and then over here, so this would be 9 6 pi, and that would be 12 6. Woo! It's hard to write with that door handle in the way. So that means negative 10 6 has to be right here. So I'm going to go clockwise. So if that's 10 6, I got 2 6 more to go. Well, 2 6 reduces to 1/3. So I have, my reference angle is pi over 3. And then pi over 3, you can look, pi over 3 is 60 degrees if you change it to degrees. So this is pi over 3, or 60 degrees. So there we go. So look, I'm in quadrant 1. Well, everything in quadrant 1 is positive. The negative just means I went clockwise. That's all the negative. It told me direction. All right, so everything in here is positive. And then my reference angle is pi over 3, or 60 degrees. And then for tangent of 60 degrees, all right, so we go to our chart. This is the fun, easy part. So I go 60 degrees, and then I go tangent, and it's radical 3. Look at my dirty nails. That's just disgusting. I'm so gross. I know. Well, we don't have pretty nails anymore. Okay, so there you go. There's your answers. Again, please look at for MEAT, and I hope you check your classwork 12 because some of you were making mistakes on your reference angles. So check it out and have a good evening, and I hope you did something great for Earth Day, and quit drinking out of water bottles. Peace.